10 tips or 10 things that I would advise to follow when planning on traveling. So being me, I've written a list because I can't remember anything anymore this year. So my first tip is make a list of all the places you want to visit, because Europe is huge, and I don't know, when I arrived here I literally just took every weekend as it came. It was very unplanned, but still I sometimes literally just, on maps, I look at a place that maybe, I don't know, the name rings a bell. That's a very random way of traveling, and if you have a year to just like on the weekends go somewhere, I'd highly recommend that. Otherwise, if you're planning a round trip or something like that, definitely make a list of the places you want to visit and then tick those off. And then maybe like also prioritize them and say which ones you really want to see, even though it's so hard in Europe, like you want to see everything. So number 2 is plan in advance what time you have free. Pretty easy. What you do is you like get a calendar out and you highlight the days that you have off, long weekends, or even like if you're traveling like from say to Australia to Europe or Australia anywhere in the world, don't do it like 2 weeks beforehand and be like, hey, I've got 2 weeks off, let's travel. If you're on a budget, that's like suicide. Like you can't do that, like it's too expensive and it just doesn't work. Also, like it's a good way to see like what's going on in those months in the places you want to visit. Maybe there's like a special festival or something like that, if you're into those sort of things, yeah. 3, have a budget. I can't stress this enough. This is so important. Like a budget is like what gives you guidelines. I did not have a budget at the start of the year, and yeah, I'm used to seeing my bank account on zero at the moment until I get my week's pay. So I highly recommend have a budget and just say, okay, how much money do I have to spend, and things like that. Not that you come back and you can't like pay for a simple thing like a toothbrush and toothpaste. Been there and it's horrible. Or the situation where you like have to call up your parents and be like, hey. Okay, 4, and the cheapest or most efficient travel method for you. Okay, I have this weird gene that I don't need a lot of sleep, so night buses for me is no problem. Like I can sleep 3 hours on the bus and then be fine the next day. If I have a coffee or something, I can go until midnight the next day again. If you are not like that, you might not be able to travel as much, but still be like mentally stable, like well-being, because I know some people, they can't function without sleep, and if you're someone like that, don't take the night bus because you'll be a mess the next day. I use the app Omio. It's like a super app. Like it gives you the travel method of flight, train and bus, and then you can check like the shortest amount of travel time and price. And so advise book in advance, because in advance a train can be cheaper than a bus. So that then goes on to step 5, which is booking accommodation. Accommodation is the most expensive part of your travel, and it's the most annoying thing because you literally just sleep there. Like usually if you're traveling somewhere, you're not there to stay in the hotel or the hostel or the Airbnb, you're there to travel. And so I always hate it, because when you have to pay for like a hotel or hostel or Airbnb, you're always like, oh, I'm like hardly spending any time there, but it's so expensive. Have to accept that. But the other thing is book early. I use Airbnb.com, that's really good. You can find lots and lots of different options there, or Hostel World if you're traveling on a budget. I'd highly recommend those. That's where I usually look first. Hostels are also great for meeting people, especially if you're traveling alone. Hostels are like the best thing because you meet people from all over the world, and they're all usually young and on a budget and seeing the world and things like that. So I highly recommend doing something like that. So that then goes to part 6. So you know when you're traveling, picked your method of transport, you've booked it, and you've booked your accommodation. That's then when the fun part starts, and you can look at what you can actually see in the space that you're going to. Some places you can't just turn up on the day and be like, hey, I want to see it, and expect there to be tickets, especially not in peak tourist season. So it's something that you have to book in advance. So I'm actually going on a trip soon for 3 weeks, and I'm not going to tell you everywhere I'm going because I kind of want to save that for you guys to see as well. You don't want to miss out just because you weren't organised. So organisation is key. So step 7 is make a rough idea of what you're planning to do during the days there, during your time. Like it doesn't need to be like at 8 we eat breakfast, at 9 we're walking here, and like plan to, no, don't do that. Like you ruin your holiday that way. Like you just want to travel easily. Just so you have a bit of structure to your day. Like I do not like follow a really tight schedule because that's never fun, because you never know, like traveling is full of unexpected things and things that you didn't plan to do, and then you have a change of plans. Like, definitely don't put anything in concrete except tickets, of course, if you've booked them. And part of that step is also what you're planning to eat. For me, cuisine, or like the food in different countries, is very, very important because you find out more about the country. And then Google things and then make a list of like, okay, I really want to try this and this. And if they have a beer or maybe not alcohol, I'm not sure. Try, like, make a list of things you want to do and try, and then you don't need to tick them all off because you don't want to come back like this, but try. So then step 8, my tip is pack easy and lightly and don't overpack, which I never do. I always overpack. Stupid idea, don't. Pack it in a comfy bag because you never know. Sometimes like you have to travel from the airport or the bus station to where you're going, and if you have an uncomfortable bag or heavy bag, it's just a mess to carry around. Okay, step 9. Step 9 is very important. I've started getting anxiety about it. Be early and organized at your method of transport. So don't leave it to the last minute because they will not wait for you. I've had my mental breakdown at the bus station. Can't recommend it. It's a horrible feeling, and it just like puts a bad start to your travel. So just be organized. And step 10 is enjoy. Like, traveling for me is one of the most fulfilling things. Like, it's something that I would want to do my whole life. So if you've put all this work into organizing a trip, enjoy it. Don't stress about little things. If things don't go to plan, if you miss the walking tour, or you slept in a little bit longer, or went out the night and drank a little bit more than you should, and then you don't wake up in time to see the sunrise, or whatever your plan was, as long as you're safe and you're having a good time, like, don't let little things get in your way. And see everything you can. Like, I can't stress it enough. Don't stay in a hotel. Please don't. Like, Europe, there's so many things to see, and when you go traveling, it's like one of the most fulfilling things, I think. Yeah, so enjoy it. And step 11, even though it's a 10 step video, 11 is cry afterwards. Zeros in your bank account or the minus sign. Yeah. So those are my 10 steps that I would recommend anyone who's planning on traveling to just try and follow, or like take like advice from, because I kind of travel a lot and I'm bankrupt, so why not give advice? Yeah, so that's my advice. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next week. Cheers!